I'm loud, but I never be even louder. Dr. Frank Hubbard, we're not sure where he was buried, so we'll just do it right here. He was 25 when he took his life with morphine. He was a Massachusetts native who was a dentist who committed suicide in the What Cheer House in San Francisco. He had a practice in Sacramento, then went to San Francisco where he bought into a practice of a Dr. Dennis the dentist, and then returned to Sacramento as the partnership dissolved, and appears to have been a poor gambler in stocks, lost a lot of money, and while his partner was out of town for 8 months, drove the business into the ground, lost all the money gambling. So he left to Sacramento, where he was followed by creditors of Dr. Dennis. Upon investigation of Dr. Hubbard, it was found that he was not, as he pretended, a graduate of Amherst, nor a graduate of College of Physicians of New York, nor a member of the State Medical Society, and indeed maybe not a doctor at all. They were searching for him in town. He got on the train to San Francisco, the very same train that his creditors were on, and actively searching for him on the train. I don't know how he got all the way to San Francisco without them finding him. When he got to San Francisco, he checked into a hotel under an assumed name and took overdose of morphine. The doctors were called, but it was too late to save his life. And that was the story of Dr. Frank Hubbard. So we'll continue on down this way. This is the Red Men plot. The Red Men were another fraternal organization, also known as the Red Jacket Tribe. And this is their plot here. And they're another smaller fraternal organization like the Woodmen of the world. They, like the Woodmen, guaranteed a burial for their members. You know, they would get a headstone. And Margaret Leslie died in 1882 at 44 years of age. She was the wife of Richard Leslie, who was a saloon keeper. He had a saloon. Well, I don't. The second and K, I think everything was in second K. It seems like there's a lot of things going on in that corner. Anyway, he had a saloon, and he had a back room to that saloon that women were allowed to drink in. And in saloons back then, women couldn't go in the front entrance, unless she was a tramp, a prostitute, a working woman. And so in the back, they usually had a back room and a back entrance for women that could go and drink. But Mrs. Leslie was not a big fan of that. The class of women that would go even in the back room and drink in a bar back then was not what she wanted her husband to be around. Not that she didn't trust him or anything. But she was known for walking back and forth on the street outside the saloon and keeping an eye on who was going in and out. And he said, well, why don't you come in and spend the night with me back there, help me run the place, and let me walk me home. That didn't work. They argued a lot, and so one night she took an overdose of morphine. And that was the end of the story. She went to the pharmacy to get it with her stepdaughter, teenage stepdaughter. She told her to stay outside on the sidewalk while she went in and got it. And then went to the bar and went to a back room and locked it. Kept the daughter outside on the street, who eventually went home. Couldn't find her parents at the bar, went home. Home was locked because her mom had gone back home to lock the house and take the drugs. So she went to a friend's house and stayed the night, and then she didn't find out until the next morning that her mother was dead. So, anyway, poor Margaret Leslie. Richard too. And right over here, this plot here with those two lovely bushes, is Billy Mitchell. William Mitchell was a railroad worker for the SP, and when was it? 1898, I think. I forget. Let's walk over there and say hi. Pay attention.